What's up, folks? And as promised, Nigerian Lucas, we're back here to talk about Snowfall Season 4. The premiere was tonight. We just got finished watching the first 2 episodes. Re-entry and wait. We're here to kind of give our reactions. We're not going to give our hardcore breakdowns on these first 2 episodes. It was really a lot to unfold. We are literally just coming off of watching it right now. So we're definitely going to give some of the things that stood out for us. And there's kind of a little bit of our expectations going into the rest of this season, which should be really good. Fingers crossed. But thus far, I definitely think that it's on the right way. But before we get started, Lucas, how you doing tonight?
Hey, it is time for Hot Take City. Listen.
Let's go, dude. What you got?
Hey, look. I don't even know where to start with this show. Full disclaimer. I watched Snowfall for the first time maybe 6 weeks ago. And I binged seasons 1 through 3 in 5 days.
Mm-hmm.
And it was in anticipation of us doing this because so many of you all said, man, after our last set of reviews, that Snowfall would be the show to do. So I'm just here. Yeah. I am here right now. Not saying it's not an enjoyable show. Far from that ever being an issue at all. But
yeah. And we do appreciate everybody with the recommendations saying we should get on this. So we're definitely excited to talk about it. But yeah, it's definitely a different it's a different plateau than what we usually review. But at the same time, too, we're going to have fun with this. So definitely stick with us each and every week as we're going to giving our reviews for this 10 season episode 4. But I will say this after the conclusion of season 3 and that finale.
Yes.
Which I thought was incredibly weak, and I'm pretty sure a lot of other fans would agree. Mm-hmm. I was expecting for this one to come out heavy, and I do say that the 2 episodes are meshed together so good that I didn't really see the divide between the 2. And I think I think they were aware of that. That's why they said let's put both of them out, because I mean, let's be serious now. Dropping an episode at 11 o'clock at night is not going to get much viewership, but at the same time too, we can actually get a little bit deep on this. We know that they're not fully invested in FX. Hulu is the ultimate picture here, so they're just like get it to the next day. You know what I mean? Just obviously television contractual things going on. Why they have to put this on FX? Why it has to be on there? But Hulu's the bigger picture. The streaming world is where the money is being made. So this second episode coming on at 11:10.
They know right from the jump. Tomorrow, it's available at 3 a.m. in the morning on Hulu. People are going to tune in and people are going to watch it. Again, I'm someone who strictly watched this on Hulu. So I fully understand the need to put it out this way. And as you said, the 2 episodes mesh so well together. It feels like one huge continuous episode. And that is rare for Snowfall from what I've seen. It's always breaks in periods between episodes in the first 3 seasons that I saw. Yeah. So for this one to feel the way it is, it had a real movie type of feel to it.
Definitely did.
I really enjoyed that.
Yep. Just to throw it back at you real quick, what's your overall thoughts about the both of the episodes? Just your things you liked, the things you didn't like,
Franklin is still making Franklin-like decisions, which make no sense to me. In this episode, he clearly went with he backed the wrong horse.
Well, wait, because that was going to be my next question. Let me throw that to you really quick, and let me just lay the foundation for anybody that we need to know exactly what we're talking about here. He has to turn the 2 gang. He has a conflict. So he has Inglewood versus Compton. He has Scully versus Manboy. He needs them. There's a situation between them, and he has to turn them against each other, or do he? Or he has to pick a side. There's a conflict.
I told him that they use a beautiful analogy that when they were in a situation, they backed the horse that benefited them the most.
Yeah.
Which in this game, it made perfectly good sense. You back the horse that's going to mean the most to you, and you throw that other one under the bus completely here.
Yeah.
It's just that in this situation, I think his aunt gave him the best advice humanly possible that he did not follow. When she said, Sully knows his place. We'll never have an issue out of him. Manboy wants your spot. And because he wants your spot, after he gets rid of him, you're going to be next.
Yeah.
And from what we've seen through the last season, because that's when really Manboy really came into fruition, was during the last season. He wants to be Franklin.
Yeah.
And it's clear as day he wants to be Franklin.
So let me throw this to you and to anybody listening. Which was the best decision for him? Side with Scully, side with Manboy, or turn them against each other? Which he ultimately went with
Scully.
Me too.
I would have easily sided with him. He's a psychopath.
Yeah.
One thing about a psychopath, if you're not going to side with him, it is your job to ensure he is not living afterwards. You do not leave that responsibility to anybody else, because once you leave him alive, he is going to come at you with full force. And that is actually some of the best parts of this season premiere.
Yeah.
Is he's so paranoid that he was able to pick apart exactly what you were doing beforehand. And for people that would say, oh, that just came out of nowhere, if you saw season 3, you understand the level of paranoid he is. And that made sense for him to figure that out.
Yeah.
Because it would take somebody extremely paranoid to figure out, like, nah, you got something somewhere. And I love the analogy of saying roaches.
And I agree, like
all the time.
Yeah, while Scully's a hothead and ticking time bomb, he's loyal. I think there's more value in loyalty in this game than to deal with the person who's envious, who is a chatty patty, and obviously I can't be trusted, as you've seen, previous times before. So like, Manboy was clearly the one to erase, but I see the tactic, Franklin was going at with like the, trying to win Scully over with the Dragunov sniper Soviet Union gun that came from where? I was like, this is Call of Duty, but like, winning him over with that, because I think a gift to someone loyal, it's definitely it's a good tactic to gain trust. And then with Manboy, he went with him, and he kind of tried to make himself personable. And he gave him the gesture of saying, I'll go with you to build the trust and so on. So like, he knew how to play both of them, but the plan still was executed wrong, because like you say, he didn't listen to what his aunt said and what you should have done.
People.
Yeah.
Like Manboy's main home, he was scared. And that's what made him jump the gun so early.
Yeah.
Even though they kept on saying, hold off, not yet, not yet, not yet. I'd have had to knock him out in that little in that containment unit. He had to go down. You will not blow this opportunity for us, man.
Yeah.
Once you get this crazy dude here's the thing. This is how you know how crazy Kelly is. I can't remember if it's the first or the second episode, because again, it blends together so well. But when they're at the funeral and he's looking up at the statues of Jesus and says, I wonder how they got him to hang like that. You should have that when we clip to the main guy and he has him hung like that in a baseball field, that's not the guy you cross. That's not the guy you died with.
Not at all.
No, again, you said he's extremely loyal. Yeah, that's always the key part. He is loyal. And he went with the guy who clearly has way more ambition than he did with loyalty. Yeah. And I didn't need kill, and that's the key part. I didn't need both of them to be gone. I only needed one of them to be gone.
Yeah.
But this is something that's been becoming a habit of Franklin, of him not paying attention and him actually not making the smart street move.
It's so funny because like every single chance that they get a moment to praise Franklin as far as being the token one to make it out the hood, he still makes the idiotic decisions as if he had never left. And like, I'm sure somebody's going to say there's a difference between being book smart and street smart. Sure, but he's well-rounded. Thus, you can benefit from the two of them to make concise decisions in everything. And yet, the things is doing are business decisions on the street, which absolutely translate into what his resume presents. Yet,
Yeah, it's like he just have brain farts from time to time. Everything just doesn't compute the way he's meaning it to compute.
Yeah.
I think he's over, and again, it could be more of a play of the time period. And it's leading him to overthink. Like he's doing a lot of overthinking on this show.
Yeah, absolutely.
And when this was and it's him not listening to his elders. It's very weird when you are the man in charge of everything.
Well,
and you're also the kid.
Well, you're exposing a form of immaturity where you're giving so much so early, but you still got so much learning to do. So yes, you're the man, you got your security detail, you're respected, but you still don't know as much as you think you do. And I think the biggest example is then when the kitchen got hot, guess what he ran back and did? Ran back to his mommy, ran back to his first chick, which is a clear sign that he's not. And then he went like I like for real, I grew paranoia when he was like, "Don't tell nobody where I'm at." And she looked at him, and I was thinking to myself, like, dude, like, I'm sorry, like, hey, T, I'm sorry to bring this on you, but by the way, I gotta stay over and don't tell nobody where I'm at. Like, dude,
how about we question that he went to sleep with that pager on his waist and it woke up on a table? Like, that'd have been the first thing I'd have questioned. Like, wait, whoa. Don't you tell me it's over there. How the hell did it get over there? Because you'd have had to take it off of me.
Yeah. Well, she said she's going to collect soon. We'll decide. I guess we'll see how that comes about.
Again, this is part of the reason why I really like this show is because of the time period. For us who grew up in the 80s, listen here, I remember crack in the 80s.
Yeah.
Very vividly at times, I remember crack in the 80s. So, like, this show is highlighting lots of things that as a kid I would see it and I would question it. And now you're seeing it come to fruition, especially with his dad, as he's talking about the neighborhood and the changes in the neighborhood. We get the reporter saying the same thing, because it's nothing like seeing firsthand your neighborhood completely change because of that narcotic hitting hard.
Well, and if you're looking at the title screen, that's also symbolic to exactly what you're saying, how it's like evolving, but yet not technically evolving, because I guess evolving would mean improving. So what?
No, you can still evolve and not improve, can't you?
Okay, well, yeah, that's that. But you're entirely right.
In drug terms, you can evolve and not improve.
You are entirely right.
And we're now seeing the evolution of the crack epidemic.
True.
And how it happened too fast for Franklin.
True.
And right now he is still playing catch up. So that a lot of his decisions are based off of him playing catch up, down to the club. And his aunt saying, hey, when he says, well, where's the money? And she says, it's in here. And he's like, she's like, we're running out of places to put it.
Yeah.
Like that shows you there, like it's too much too soon.
Yeah. Good point. Let's talk about Franklin and Leon. Now, this has seemed to be hitting a boiling point again. Nothing new here. But what do you make of it this time? And like, here's my first thing I want to say is, like, we know Leon's a hothead, and he's very impulsive, as you know, we've seen him immediately pull out the strap on Gustavo, and Franklin is deemed as the intelligent visionary, the one who sees the bigger picture here. I hate to kind of be like, I hate to kind of be like Captain Obvious here, but like this also shows traits of Eazy-E and Dr. Dre back in the day. Like, it's kind of trying to go, not Dr. Dre or Ice. It's kind of having that type of formality to it, nonetheless. And it's easy. It's an easy pitch to say, like, hey, we want to use some of that, nonetheless.
I give you credit for using those two. I'm like, I'll explain what popped into my head as these two go back and forth with each other, but I'm gonna let you finish your analogy first.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I don't make this to be nothing but, like, you know, friends, they're brothers. Everything is explosive for a second. You think you could go out on your own. Y'all, at the end of the day, they're going to need each other. So, and that's what we're seeing. Leon needs a connect. Franklin needs somebody loyal and men in his corner right now. So, so I see that arc being flat out obvious right now. The destruction right now to ultimately needing each other. So I give it about until episode 7 or 8 where we start to see the camaraderie of the brothers again forming to whatever it's going to be, because there's definitely some things looming, obviously, with the neighborhoods and whatnot, but like it's, you know, everybody's head is on swivel, shall I say, at this moment.
You can't see Leon wanting to venture out on his own and not ever really wanting to reconnect with Franklin.
I mean, that's what he said out of his mouth, and we seen where that went.
So I mean, he still needs to connect. When it happened with the gun pointing and the breakup, I was like, oh man, this is Nino Brown and G Money all over again.
Okay.
Like part of it is Leon, I think, and I feel right now, he's feeling like he's not getting the respect that he's earned. Yeah. Like Franklin has been making decisions like I'm the boss. And Leon's like, nah, as much as this is yours, you owe this because of me. And because of that conflict, that's where I think they've been hinting towards problems for a couple of seasons now. And bringing Gustavo in was a horrible thing to do when you haven't fully healed over them losing their best friend. And Leon clearly blames Gustavo for them losing their best friend, and Franklin knew that.
Yeah.
So to even put him in that situation, that's a boss move that Franklin made. It was almost like he was trying to tell Leon, I'm putting you in your place.
Yeah. Yep, covertly. I mean, even the whole inviting somebody to something and like not letting them be aware of who's at the party.
After Franklin got hurt and Leon was running everything. Like, that's a power move that Franklin did. That's why he did it. He wanted to pull a power move.
True.
He wanted to put the signal out there like, I'm back.
It's something about Franklin's whole demeanor that when he does stuff like that, it doesn't come off like overbearing, and it almost comes off kind of innocent. But yeah, I think these are going to be the conversations that we have as we review it this season, that exposing these moments where, you know, he is the boss or the kingpin, the head, whatever you want to call it, and he's making these sort of innocent moves, yet they come with purpose. And I think there's a lot of things that this show kind of like throws in there where you could kind of wonder, like, well, what was the purpose of that? You know, just like the birthday party and Gustavo dressed up as a luchador. You're kind of like, well, what's the purpose of this? You know, you're going to see things that are all going to have meaning, and I think it's going to stem from dialogue. And I definitely is going to think of stuff just like that. Like, what would be the purpose of that? Why would somebody do that? And I think it is still continuing to build the ideology behind, the psychology behind, you know, our main focal characters. And I think you're absolutely right. Doing that comes off at surface level as like an idiotic move that no one would do. But yes, if you're trying to pull a power move and a boss move, then you're going to do things because you know no one can answer to you.
Yes. And they have been placating to Franklin from the beginning. And I think, again, he felt naturally like his place was being taken. Yeah. From even when he goes to visit Leon. And that initial conversation between them two, man, I see how you holding everything down and all. Like, that's a signal like, okay, I see the way you're moving and I understand what you're doing. And I'm grateful for you being able to step in. But the king back. I need you to fall back again. And I don't think Leon is ready to accept falling back again. Here's the weird part, nor should he accept falling back, because he should have never fell back from the beginning. Yeah. Like Franklin had the formula, Leon had the muscle.
Yeah. And that's, I mean, it's traditional, it's traditional hierarchy. Yeah. It's always that one person with the muscle, and regardless of who is what, they need each other. It's respected, and it's that camaraderie that makes the system work. And again, that's why I think it's always going to come back to it. And like, as you said, like when Leon had to step up, it's proven that he can do it. And you know, you at the end of the day, you have to they have to respect each other one way or another. Well, right now, while they're trying to flex, like, you know, So again, by episode 7, I think we're going to see like the whole resolution.
Nino Brown and G.
So look, this is the question I wanted to ask you the entire time thus far. Well, how would you rate Franklin's intelligence for these first 2 episodes?
Listen, as I said before, he'll make a smart decision and then make the world's dumbest decision. So I'm going to base his intelligence based off of that single decision on what side to back, because that is the most important decision that he's made, let's say, in at least 2 seasons on this show. And it wasn't a good decision to be made there. Like, Franklin comes across as someone who doesn't know the streets, which is very odd for someone who is supposed to be the biggest drug dealer in Los Angeles, that he comes across at times like he just doesn't understand the streets, and he makes decisions amazingly emotionally. He makes a lot of emotionally based decisions, which to me clouds his judgment. His aunt on the show has always been the one to me who makes the best street decisions.
Hey, look, all I'm gonna say is we quickly got to see what's coming up for the upcoming season, and all I know is I see the ladies riding. I can't wait to see.
I can't wait. That's when they better be playing some JJ Fad, like some Supersonic or something. It's the 80s. I need to hear that. I need to hear Ladies First. I need to hear a couple of jumps or 10% disc by MC Light. I need to hit some of them jokes as these ladies look like they about to go get it in the streets.
Yo, Snowfall soundtrack has always religiously been good. So yeah, I think you're barking up the right tree here.
I was expecting when Leon had the gun pointed and Franklin got in front and Franklin man points it on Leon. I was expecting right there for self-destruction to be played.
Dude.
Like right. That would have killed it for me right there. This place self-destruction right there, man. This to set the tone for what you're gonna get for the rest of the season.
Man, look, before we wrap up, there's one thing I really gotta say real quick. When they were trying to figure out if Scully had been killed, and when Manboy came and said that he did, not even for the slightest second did I believe him.
Look, it played the way he said that. It played like he was trying to set Franklin up.
Sleazy. You knew from that moment, like there was not 1 inch of my body was like, I believe this dude.
From multiple drug dealing shows in the 80s, movies in the 80s, you never trust the light-skinned pretty nigga to actually do what he says he did. Like,
I won't go say it, but
no, you can't trust him. So the moment he said that he killed her, I was like, wait a minute. And then to turn around, not only did you not kill him, you only shot him in his arm.
Yeah, he said, I saw it myself. I was like, nah. But you know what? Too, even outside of the character's profile, like if Scully died, it would have been a lot more climactic. It wouldn't have been like a big mystery if we would have seen or not. Like that's a major issue, major character. It would have panned out to be a bigger thing. So I just put 1 and 2 together. I was like, there's no way. And just as soon as he showed up and said he did, I was like, BS. No way. So, but I like how they played that. That was kind of slick. But speaking of Scully, so when we saw him pulling out the bullet by himself, I died.
I have been scared of him since the wood. He backed my man up in a car because he wanted to dance with his sister at the prom. I've been scared of Sully since that moment.
Dude, that was the funniest scene of this entire night. Like, when he was like, give me the whip, like he legit was about to cry. Matter of fact, that was a really good scene that he acted out there.
Here's the thing. He falls in the category of one of those great black actors that no one knows his actual name.
Good point. Yeah.
He's up there with Boheim.
I knew you was going there. I knew it. I knew you were going.
Those great black actors who feel like they have been around forever. They're in everything humanly possible. They're good in everything they do, and yet you can't tell me their names.
Yeah, and it's not like the funny thing is,
I know
it's not like
that's the thing for me.
Hey yo. Hey, I know people in the comments go crazy on that one.
That's his name for me, is Tracy. I will always remember him as Tracy.
But ultimately, to pull this full circle, because Franklin didn't listen to his aunt advice and not picking one, but trying to turn the two of them against each other, and thought that would be the master plan. Now he has the one that he should have had on his side coming after him, and then he still can't trust the other one that he initially never should have trusted in the first place.
That's what makes no sense. You managed to back yourself in an unnecessary corner.
Yep, got his mom and dad now got to hide out. Like he literally screwed everything. And like it's funny to me. I mean, I get it, he's the guy, but like I don't think there was like no form of rebuttal from anybody saying this is not the way,
except for his dad.
Yeah,
which is weird that over the course of all these seasons, his dad has now become the voice of reason on the show.
Well, and we saw that in the preview based on his dad conflict with the cop. And you know, I don't know if there's too much to really talk about that. I think that's gonna be a lot to talk about coming in for episode 3.
Yeah,
but like you're entirely right. But yeah, I think that his dad, once he told him about the cop, and he was like, my son needs to answer for himself. And we look at that preview of him having a very strong and passionate conversation with Franklin. I think these are the type of things that's going to happen, is he is going to hold him accountable for everything in the streets, what they know, what they don't think they know, and the assumptions. I think he's going to hold him accountable for everything. And I think that's really going to be not just the voice of reason for the show, but like the complex for the mental complex for viewers. So like if you're trying to really rationale some of the things that Franklin is doing, I think we're going to get it spoken through his dad.
Because in the end, Franklin is not a good person. No matter how much we may want him to be a good person, he's not a good person. He is systematically destroying his own neighborhood. And his dad is constantly bringing it up to him, which is weird because, again, it didn't start off that way with his dad. His dad was always gone. We thought the mom would be the mental compass for Franklin, but she bent to Franklin's will. And it's the dad who's like, okay, I know what you're doing. And you're my son, I love you, but I need to also let you know this isn't right. Like that whole conversation they had about Enter the Dragon, which is not a good movie at all for anybody who's never seen it. It's not a good movie. But that whole conversation they had was a real touching moment that felt sincere.
Yeah.
Like you felt like Franklin was about to fully break down, but he understood he couldn't back out of what was necessary, what had to be done.
Yeah.
But he still wanted to thank his father for trying. And that's going to play dividends to me as the season goes on, because once you thank him for trying once, you're going to notice that he's going to constantly try to pull you away from what you're in.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, well, my last thing is we got to talk about the Avocado Boys, Teddy and Gustavo, who we knew. I mean, everyone knew the avocados. If you've seen anything, we all knew that the avocados was spiked. Number one, there's one other thing we got to talk about too. But yeah, number one, now that that deal's went bad and they're trying to re-up and establish another deal, they go down to TJ. TJ's Tijuana. So if you ever heard that reference, let you know TJ's Tijuana, Mexico. So you know they're trying to reestablish the look the other way with the feds, and they want double. I mean, everybody in this entire episode wanted double. Every proposition
double. He wanted quadruple.
Yeah, well, everyone wanted more than what the initial asking price was. This was the episodes of everybody offering, and then they were like, no more. So, but nonetheless, this landed Gustavo in a very interesting spot because for me, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, I've never seen the cops operate in this way where the cops decided that if you're not going to pay what I want, then I'm gonna come after you. That's a mafia type of move.
Yes, it is.
And I don't know if I've ever seen the cops do that, and I could be wrong, but if this is the angle that we're going ahead, this may be my favorite aspect of this show, because I love how they made Gustavo look like a supreme babyface this episode with the family, with the whole reconciliation with Leon type of thing. And then, you know, they've been trying to establish the deal again because, you know, the pipeline issues or whatever. But now that his family has been executed and the kids have been taken, now he's out for revenge, and we're about to see a heel turn instantly. And this is going to be an interesting character.
All you was missing was that. That's all you're gonna be missing from the heel turn you are about to see from this man on this show. Because he's gonna be out for blood.
Yeah.
He's gonna be completely out for blood here. And it is the most interesting aspect of this show. Because that's something you never see of the cop saying, hey, no, you don't meet our price, we'll just kill all your people.
Yeah, I mean the story. I was like, is this a lesson to be told? And like, sure, intimidation is a tactic, but like,
I mean, from the conversation he had about him being in a wheelchair, that was the most disrespectful conversation to have. Well, maybe you wouldn't be there if you just made amends with your friends in the first place. Like, he was intimidating him from the jump. And giving them all that time to get everything figured out, that was all an intimidation tactic.
Yeah.
The whole time he was basically saying it's going to be my way or no way.
Yeah.
But we assume no way meant we're not going to look the other way.
Yeah.
We didn't assume no way meant we'll just kill you.
Yeah. So the one thing that this show does is that, and I think what a lot of television, not premium, basic television channels with series, the one thing that they do that I feel like is the big margin of gap between premium channels and the standard channels is it's always back to the writing, because I feel like on the premium channels you could take more chances, obviously, because you have less restrictions and whatnot. But the one thing that I feel like is an almost constant on regular channel series is the predictability factor. And what this show does is that it foreshadows something and then it comes to fruition. So, like the cop giving that threat, it executed, which is still not something you're used to seeing, but it does that. And every single thing, there's a few other ones in this episode that followed suit, and in previous seasons as well too. But the one thing that didn't, which I want to bring to this question, is when Leon went to go meet with the Spanish connects in the alley.
Yeah.
And the first thing you think is, this is foreshadowing him to get robbed. He initially thought he was going to get robbed. I mean, he was leery of being robbed. And then they left because they thought they were going to be robbed. I'm curious, because they did not get robbed. I'm curious if they blew something here. And I'm wondering.
I think so. They got so spooked that they didn't see the deal through.
Because everyone comes strapped to a meat.
Yes, unless you're stupid. You're gonna come strapped to a meat. I'm not meeting people I don't know with no gun.
Yeah,
it's not gonna happen.
Yeah, and let's meet in the middle of the street, because that seems like the smart thing. So, like, why the alley does seem suspicious, but like, we're also, I mean, what difference is an abandoned building?
We're also selling illegal drugs.
Yeah, I'm about to say, what difference is an abandoned building?
I'm gonna be by a street light while I sell you this kilo. Like, that's just not gonna be a smart move to make. And you said before, what's the difference between an alley and an abandoned building? Either way, I can take you out. So I do think that they missed an opportunity. And I thought that the moment they ran back in the car. But it also highlights, and it's a very amazing callback to season 1. You saw the difference between Franklin and Leon when they made that move. Franklin walked into the lion's den not knowing if he would die and made that deal. And Leon couldn't do it.
Good point.
And that shows the difference between them two. Again, this whole episode, we've been questioning, like, why aren't they on even footing? Leon should feel like they should be on even footing. And then you get to that scene, and it highlights to you why they're not.
Yeah.
Like, Leon is the muscle. Franklin is the brains. But Franklin may be the heart also.
Yeah.
And when you are the brains and the heart of the operation, you get the muscle making decisions like that and running away in a car because he's terrified of what could happen.
Yep. Well, look, dude, that's all I got for episodes 1, episode 2, season 4 of Snowfall Re-Entry. And wait, if you might have misheard me earlier, we will be covering season 4. We're very excited to talk about this, so we will be here each and every week breaking these episodes down, giving our reaction thoughts, having a little bit of laughs, and we want you to be a part of it too. So definitely in the comments, get down there and chat with us. Now, I will say there's a little bit different, a little bit of difference of what we're going to do with this than what we've done previously. You can expect some episodes to be done live. So if anybody is up at night after watching an episode and you want to chat with us, definitely jump in the chat and let us know your thoughts too. To the episodes. Yeah, if they're not doing these 2 episodes and we're up in the middle of the night, I don't know about that, but
it should be it.
Yeah.
But it is hard. You all don't understand here. It is hard to do a review / discussion off of a 2-hour episode because you lose certain nuances that happen in these episodes.
Yeah.
It's little things that happen that we would love to focus on. We can't.
Like the reporter and stuff like that. And like,
oh my goodness, the Fred Hampton story, that whole thing is a amazing story to talk about. Guess what we can't do? Talk about it in a 2-hour episode. We can know that the reporter is going to play a key role moving forward in this season. We can understand how she's going to influence the dad. But we can't go in depth about it because FX decided to drop 2 episodes and not drop it at 9 o'clock. People, it's FX. From 8 until you could have cussed at 9. We would have been perfectly fine with that.
With that being said, we would love to have those conversations with y'all in the chat. So down below in the description, in the comments, because I write the description, not you. Definitely any other points of this episode you want to engage with us, we'll be down there definitely interacting with you all. And like, we can't do this without you all. So definitely give this a like. If you're not subscribed, definitely so you can get and hit the notification. That way you can get the updates when the episode reviews drop. But Lucas, anything else you want to add really quickly before we roll out?
Frankly, I made a stupid decision. Hey, it's nothing else to add on this episode. It's a good episode, good way to start the season off, and I'm looking forward to it. Please bring back the cover of Snowfall when you show the neighborhood burning down or something. I really, really like that part of it.
So, with that, do it, folks. Thank you so much for watching this review. We'll catch you all next week for episode 3. Peace out, y'all.